We are back on Inside Politics. Our guest today, Larry Woods, Democratic strategist, and Deborah Maggott, Republican strategist, talking 2020 politics. Let's begin. Let's talk about this situation with voting by mail. Deborah, there's some pretty sharp words from a local judge here in Nashville, because she ordered that by voting by mail be almost by right if anybody wanted to do it here in the state. And the state still seems to be kind of dragging their feet on it. She said shame on their lawyers, and she also is threatening criminal contempt if the state doesn't get in line. Why does the state want to position itself as being sort of voter suppression and more a following process rather than wanting people to be able to vote?
Well, from what I understand, she might be in the running for Legislator of the Year, because what she did yesterday and last week, she's legislating from the bench. Twice in the last couple of weeks, the General Assembly has put down almost exact language that she ordered that the Secretary of State now implement for absentee voting. And, you know, there's a difference between absentee voting, the way we do it here in Tennessee under our current law, and what some states are doing that they call mail-in ballots. It's still done by the mail, but there's a little bit of nuances about that. And I think that what the Secretary of State's trying to do is make sure that the law that we have right now is followed, but that this is done in an organized way. I mean, the mail-in ballots, the absentee ballots, the applications, they went out May the 8th. I mean, we already have people voting. And so to change what we're doing in the middle of it happening, I think is irresponsible on the judge's part. So I know from what I've read in the paper and keeping up with this, you know, to my knowledge, what she got upset with them about is that they put the word COVID in the checkoffs that are currently on the application for a absentee ballot. And then she turned around yesterday and wanted them to put the word COVID in there. So I don't think the Secretary of State's trying to suppress the vote. I think they're trying to make it where it's organized.
Larry, in terms of the U.S. Senate, the Democrats got a chance to take that back. There's a poll out in Newsweek magazine that indicates that even the majority leader, Mitch McConnell, may be in a tough race in Kentucky. His challenger, Amy McGrath, has actually got a slight lead on him right now.
You know, 6 months ago, Pat, I would have said, you know, we're going to run close in a lot of these elections, and as traditionally happens, we're going to lose, we Democrats are going to lose a lot of these close elections. Again, I think this year is different. I think the really good experiences that most people in the community are having through the protests and watching the protests is going to generate a much larger voter turnout, and it's going to turn out voters who like what's happening, and therefore probably going to vote for the Democrat. I think that's why the former Air Force pilot woman running against McConnell's now up a couple of points against him. I think it's why we may very well capture the Republican seat in Arizona. I think we're going to capture the Maine Republican seat from Susan Collins. Tennessee is going to be a lot closer. The Democratic nominee, who I think I can predict, but I won't because I'm not definite about it. I think the Democratic nominee is going to be a lot closer, a lot stronger here in Tennessee than any of us expected last year.
Deborah, on the Democratic side, what's going to happen with Bill Hagerty and Manny Sethi? Hagerty's considered to be the front runner because he's endorsed by President Trump. Does Sethi have any kind of chance at all? And what about the fact that we've now got George Flynn, who's run several times for lots of offices unsuccessfully, but he's got a lot of money. He's running TV ads. Could he be a dark horse contender?
Well, he's never had that opportunity before to win. I mean, he's put a lot of money in all these races, and he's come up short every time. But I do think that Hagerty does have an edge, especially with Donald Trump's endorsement. But Dr. Sethi, you know, he's up on TV. He's managed to come up with some money to do that. And, you know, we watched Governor Lee come in as an outsider. We watched Donald Trump come in as an outsider. And people in my party, some people consider Ambassador Hagerty as an insider. But I do think right now that the ambassador is going to win.
Very short answers for both of you, if you can, quickly. We've talked. There's going to be a lot of mail-in ballots across the country, no matter what happens in Tennessee. Are we now looking at not election day or election night getting the results back? Are we looking at election month? Are we going to have to go the whole month of November or beyond that in some of these close states to figure out who won those states and who won the presidency? Larry?
Yes, in theory, and more states take mail-in, it's going to take longer to count and verify, but I think a matter of days and a week rather than a month, probably. But again, I think if Trump doesn't manage to reverse the trends going on right now, I don't think the November presidential election is going to be close in the Electoral College.
Deborah, very quickly, do you think it's going to be a long night and a long couple of weeks in November?
Well, I can speak for what I know about Tennessee. I know that the Secretary of State and the election coordinators across the state, they've been planning for more absentee ballots even before all this flap happened with the judge. So they have been working hard for the last couple of months trying to make sure that they have whatever they need to handle more absentee ballots coming in. So I can't speak for the rest of the country. I would think that, to Larry's point, it would be what he says. It would probably be a couple of days, maybe a week.
Larry Woods and Deborah Maggot, thank you so much for both being on the program this week. Appreciate you always coming on the show. And thank you for joining us on Inside Politics. I'll be back here again for a future show. If you can't get up politics in the meantime, go to the Channel 5 website. You'll find my Capitol View commentary there. There's a commentary mostly posted there every Friday afternoon. Not this week. I've had a computer malfunction and won't have one this week. We'll have one uploaded next week. Hope that's when we'll see you back here at the show. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.